Welcome to the Hope Unlocked podcast. I'm your host, Kristin Kurtz, and I'm also the founder of New Wings Coaching. I help and empower wild-hearted and adventurous women of faith feeling caged and stuck unlock their true purpose and potential, break free from limitations, and thrive with confidence, courage, and hope. If you're curious to learn more about coaching with me, head to newwingscoaching.net and be sure to explore the show notes for ways to connect with me further. Get ready to dive in as we uncover empowering keys and insights in this episode. So tune in and let's unlock hope together. Welcome to the Hope Unlocked podcast. I'm Kristin Kurtz, your host. I pray this episode is like a holy IV of hope for your soul. Please help me welcome Lori Ball to the show. I am so excited to have her here today. She is a sweet mutual connection to our friend, Debbie Thomas. So thank you, Debbie, if you hear this today, for the connection. I can't wait for her to share more about her story, and I just know that she's going to bless us today. So, Lori, would you be open to sharing a little bit about yourself before we get into your story?
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me today, Kristin. I so appreciate it. And I do appreciate our mutual friend connecting us.
Yes.
So my name is Lori Ball. I'm the founder of the nonprofit Faith and Gratitude. Nearly 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And as I started that journey that I never thought I would be on, I quickly realized that many people who I was encountering and talking to, felt the same way, that there should be something more that we could be doing for ourselves in between scheduled treatments and tests, etc. So I created something that I felt was sorely lacking, and that was Faith and Gratitude.
Wow. I love the name. I mean, tell us more about the name.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name?
So faith and gratitude, two words that mean so much to me, that have meant so much to me growing up, and then to the point when you're literally faced with a cancer diagnosis. I felt that faith in myself to get me through 18 consecutive weeks of chemotherapy, but even more importantly, faith in God, that I knew that He was with me, He would be with me. And the experience of cancer diagnosis was merely that, and that I was supposed to do something with the experience. And gratitude was, again, for me, just finding something through the chaos every single day that I could find gratitude in. I could find that was something that I could say I am grateful for. So faith and gratitude resonated. And, we started Faith and Gratitude actually 2 years following my diagnosis in June of 17.
Oh, okay. So I was just kind of curious, as you received this diagnosis, and I know of several who've received a diagnosis. Like, what was going through your head at that moment?
Well, I will tell you that just a little bit of a backstory too. I'm the youngest of 4 children by a lot of years. So I'm literally like there's 3 older kids in the family, and then the youngest of those 3 is 11 years older than I.
Oh, wow.
So I was like it was like a second set of, rearings really
Like
from my
round
parents.
2.
So my parents, my mom was nearly 40 when she had me, my dad nearly 45. And as they got older, they were just getting older. They were just aging. So there was a lot of stress surrounding that as the youngest, or the only, in some cases, youngest, oldest, whatever. And, in August of 2015, we were at a neighborhood party, and one of my neighbors asked if I was ready to go back to work full time. So we have one child, he was starting his senior year of high school at the time. And before I could say no, my husband said, well, yeah, she might be.
Oh.
So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So we prayed about it a lot, because it was not in the industry that I was familiar with. I spent almost 20 years in helicopter rotary craft marketing.
Okay.
And this was not that industry at all. It was a dental lab, and it was a family-owned dental lab, and there were a lot of angst within the ranks at that facility. And we thought about it and prayed about it, and I thought, okay, God, is this what I'm supposed to be doing next? I
Mm,
kept feeling like I should be, doing something to help women. That was my whole thing for many years prior to the diagnosis. I felt like I should be helping women. Just
mm,
over and over again, I'd come home from work and say, I really feel like I need to be helping people and not in the aviation industry. And so it just would go on and on and on.
yeah.
Well, I was offered the position. I started the job. I was there literally 5 weeks from start to finish.
Mm,
About the third week into it, I started experiencing lower back pain, pelvic pressure, and it was, something that I thought, well, maybe, if I just, resign, all
mhm.
of these physical symptoms will go away.
Like kind of ignore it.
Kind of ignore, yeah, exactly. So, I actually started going to the chiropractor. You
Mhm.
know, my back would feel a little bit better, but that would come back again. And then was talking to my sister, who's a phlebotomist, and she said, "Well, maybe it's a UTI or bladder infection." You're
Mhm.
really trying to
Yeah.
not Google things, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so all these tests came back negative, and so I literally was lying in bed one night and I felt a lump in my lower pelvic area.
Oh, wow.
And it looked like if you were holding an egg lengthwise, that little bit of a curvature at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to my husband, feel this.
Mm,
And he said, what do you think that is? And of course, I didn't know. So the very next morning, I did start to Google.
yeah.
Um, and I got up from my desk and walked into my husband's office and said, I think I have ovarian cancer.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So, I had just been to my gynecologist,
Hmm.
my annual visit in August of 15,
Okay.
and these symptoms presented already at the end of September into October.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was very strange.
Mm-hmm.
And I called and made another appointment at my gynecologist's office. And that morning, I asked my husband to go with me,
Mm,
and was he was questioning that, you're just going to the gynecologist. You never asked me to go with you. But I had a
no.
feeling
Mm,
that something was really wrong.
mm-hmm.
So we went, and, my gynecologist was doing her internal exam. She pushed back from the table and said that this was a very different exam
Mm.
than we just had in August. So this is like the beginning of December, like December 14th.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
so this was August is when I had my appointment.
Okay.
And so I went out to the waiting room and my husband said, "Are you ready to go?" And I said, "Well, we have to go to an imaging center. I have
Mm-hmm.
to have blood work, ultrasounds, transvaginal ultrasounds done." And
Mm-hmm.
so we did it. We were on our way home,
And that
and
was
I get
the same day you went and did the other
the
appointment.
same day, Kristen.
Oh, my gosh.
We were on our way home, and I get a call from her, from my gynecologist, that
Mm-hmm.
fast.
Oh.
And she said that my blood marker, and for ovarian cancer, that's the cancer antigen, the CA 125. That
Mm-hmm.
is the marker for ovarian cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never even heard of that my
Mm-hmm.
whole entire life.
Yeah.
And she called, it was quite elevated.
Mm.
Um, and she said with my transvaginal ultrasound and the traditional ultrasound, they could see something large on imaging.
Mm-hmm.
And in her opinion, it was highly unlikely to be benign.
Mm. Wow.
So that was December 14th. And my son, our only child, was turning 18 on December 17th.
Oh, my goodness.
And we host a family Christmas party every year, and that was to occur on that weekend as well.
Oh, wow.
So it was just so chaotic. Like my mind
Mhm.
was trying so hard to land on something that was immovable, if that makes sense. Like just to try
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
because all of these thoughts are just
Mhm.
speeding by, and you just can't land on something that's not moving. You're
Yeah.
just trying so hard.
Yeah.
And
Do you recall like some of the main thoughts that came up for you?
oh gosh, I mean, yeah, everything from, not being there for our son,
Hmm.
knowing he was going to, college the following year, looking at my Christmas decorations and thinking, I might be boxing these up for the very last time. I mean, I was literally, it was all these things that were just,
Hmm.
I mean, I can't even describe it other than saying so random and chaotic, and
Yeah.
not thinking at the time that this was a path I'm supposed to be walking on at all. Like, not
Hmm.
at all. I mean, that
Yeah.
wasn't crossing my mind even
Yes.
in the slightest at that moment.
Hmm.
So the my gynecologist said because of the size of it, she felt it was all the words, right? Like the highly unlikely to be benign, and it was quite large. They couldn't tell if it was in the uterus, pressing on the uterus. We didn't know. But
Hmm.
she had made me an appointment for that Friday with um a gyne oncologist from the city of Pittsburgh. I live close to Pittsburgh, and he
Okay.
was supposed to be the best in the country, the best in the city.
Hmm.
And my first thought was to call one of my dearest friends who
Yeah.
worked for another large hospital in Pittsburgh to find out if that really was the case. Is
Oh.
this is this the gyne oncologist that I really should be seeing?
Hmm.
And I said, ask your doctors, find out they're an independent hospital here, so they're not affiliated with big conglomerates.
Okay.
And she came back and she said, no, she's checked with all of them, and they all pointed me to a different group at a different
Oh, wow.
hospital.
Like
And
everybody pointed you to one place, a different place.
yes,
Okay. And
yeah.
I want to point out here that like I feel like second opinions are always really a key in anything, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you always have time.
Mm-hmm.
With when you have you have a cancer diagnosis,
Mm-hmm.
and the first thing the oncologist, in my case and in 99% of the cases of people I speak with daily, they
Mm-hmm.
want to clear their schedules, and they want to get you right into a situation where they can do surgery. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they just want to get you started.
Yeah.
And I feel as though you always have time. You
Mm-hmm.
have to, take a step back. I
Yeah.
remember sitting in the gynecology in the surgic in my gyne oncologist's office. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to clear the schedule that following Monday for
Mm.
surgery. And my
Really?
and my first thought was, of course I mean, I need to get this removed.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband said, let's just stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just, this is all just sort of whizzing by us. All these terms are being thrown around,
Yes.
all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just take a breath.
Mm.
And we did. And we asked him if it would make a difference if we waited until January to do the surgery. And
Mm-hmm.
he quickly said, of course, it won't matter at all. Um, so what we did
Glad
was
you asked. I'm so glad
well,
your
yeah.
husband had like that you have his support and just kind of going, hey, honey, let's stop.
Well, exactly, because the first inclination is you need to have it removed since,
Mhm.
nobody thinks it's not cancer. They're all thinking that it's going to be cancer.
Right.
And but after taking that time, it
Hmm.
was 30 days from the time that we knew all this was going on until the surgery date. And what we did was we upended our whole life. We started I started juicing like crazy.
Hmm.
I didn't put anything into my body, whether it be food or drinks, that wasn't immune boosting.
Hmm.
Everything that I did, I hopped on a PEMF mat.
Oh yeah.
Um, I rebounded. I did everything. I just went into the mode that I was going to put my immune system into the healthiest place it could be, not only to fight the cancer, but to prepare myself for surgery. Because, when cancer is allowed to take hold in our bodies, it's because our immune system isn't working properly. So by me going straight from, okay, I can clear my schedule, to a surgery, which is so immune busting also,
Yes.
it would have been a terrible decision. So I just went out and I found, supplements that would help to boost my immune system. I did everything that I could possibly do to get my body ready for surgery.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, so it's kind of a two-part question. So we'll start with prior to this, like, how were you, like, were you doing a lot of activities to help boost your immune system? Were you like taking care of your body well? Ever hear something on this show that stirs something deep, like a nudge from God that there's more? That's stirring. It's not random. I'm Kristin Kurtz, host of Hope Unlocked and the founder of New Wings Coaching, and I'm inviting you into a 45-minute unlocking session, a sacred space to press in, hear what heaven is saying, and activate your next bold step. If you're a trailblazer or kingdom voice ready to break free from doubt and live fully alive, this is for you. Book now at newwingscoaching.net/hopeunlocked for special listener pricing. You were born to live uncaged and unapologetically bold. Now back to the show.
Yeah, it's a good question because I always thought I was, but it goes back to that conversation starter a little while ago when I said that I was the youngest of 4 children. And as my parents started to age and started to have age-related situations, my stress level, although I thought I was handling stress fine, I don't think I was because, many times with cancer diagnoses, there's a huge component of unresolved, whether it be stress, emotional, something. And so I really feel that I thought I was handling stress fine. You're doing all the things, you're taking your vitamins, you're doing all the, the prayer and meditation, all the different things. But it's like the saying goes, you know, everything is fine. You have all these problems until your health is waning. And now you have one problem. And that is to get your body into a position where it wants to heal again.
Yes, so good. Yeah. So then the second part of that question was, how did you know, like I've been around the block with like, I call it supernatural healing. So, PEMF and the rebounder and the juicing, like how did you learn about these things? Did you have somebody that was kind of that counter to, we need to cut it out and we need to do this, that, and the other thing? Did you have a voice in your corner that was kind of leading you that way, or do you feel like the Lord was just showing you these things? Or maybe it was a both
Well,
and?
it's such a combination because my dad, his nickname was Nature Boy.
Oh, I love it.
And he didn't take prescriptions. He felt if you continue to go to Western doctors, that eventually they will find something because there is no money
Mm-hmm.
into not finding and treating something.
This is
And
true.
so he was a big vitamin taker. He had many, many books that if you said you had something or you felt as though you did, he would, right away, go right down to where his resources were. And he would highlight things and make notes for you. And,
Oh,
you need to take vitamin C, you need to take L-lysine, you need to take zinc, whatever it was.
yeah.
So I really believe, um, that was a huge component,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
me remembering that. And I also believe that my dad had passed in August of 14.
Oh, okay.
And I really believe that when this was really going on, that it was dad together with God.
Mm,
And my dad saying, we have to get her attention.
yes.
This is not the path that she's supposed to be on. We need to redirect her. We don't want to kill her, but we need to redirect her so
Yeah.
that her path now is to be where she's been feeling it should be going with this, coming home many, many years before to her husband and saying, I feel like I should be helping people. I feel like I should be helping women. I feel like I should be, out there doing something. So I really do believe it was kind of two-pronged.
Yes. So, being part of, as you're journeying, like, were you sharing this openly with people at this point? Like, where did that journey begin with, sharing with other women?
So that's a good question too. So I had 18 consecutive weeks of chemotherapy. I had two ports placed, a chest port and an intraperitoneal port. So
Oh,
each week we would go to, the infusion center and we'd, be in this crowded, room waiting to be called back. And, you'd pass by a lot of the same people like
oh,
each week. And you
oh,
start to strike up a conversation with some of them, many of which didn't want to. You could
oh.
just tell they just didn't want to talk, but,
Mm-hmm.
several did. And
Mm,
so, I realized quickly that there's a huge gap between Western medicine and Eastern medicine.
mm-hmm.
And, where we have, all of this stuff that we can be doing, whether it's, praying, meditation through prayer, prayer through meditation, journaling,
Mm-hmm.
all things that can really calm
Mm-hmm.
the internal environment so your body has a chance to do what it innately wants to do. And
Yes.
so I started talking to people
Mm-hmm.
and feeling that, wow, not only did these people who were sitting there for infusions were trying to figure out the same sorts of things I was, but the nurses in the infusion center were as open and
Oh,
interested in
really?
hearing what I was learning every week.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So, like, were you bringing new knowledge to them, in
Yeah.
essence?
So what I would do, Kristen, is every week I would get my blood drawn before infusions.
Mm-hmm.
And, chemotherapy is cumulative in our systems and our bone marrow just works so hard to try to keep up, but it's a tough regimen.
Mm-hmm.
So each week I would get my blood work and I would look at every single entry and I would
Okay.
be like, okay, this, and this is low. What can I whether it's an essential oil or whether it's a food, like what should I really be trying to
Mm-hmm.
do to bolster my counts for the next time? Because at that point, all I wanted to do was get through the 18
Mm-hmm.
treatments.
Mm-hmm.
So and because I was part of a trial, a study, I had
Okay.
a big, a form that I had to fill out each week, and the nurses were always so amazed that I didn't have the symptoms I should have had with the
Wow.
protocol that I was going through.
That's amazing.
So I just would share with them. And at the end of, when I rang the bell on July 19th of 2016,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of weeks before that, they said, can you just create something that we can give to patients,
Wow.
when they're coming after you? And I said,
Yeah.
I absolutely I could. So I created just a simple brochure for
Mhm.
people that they give out to cancer patients.
Oh my gosh. How incredible. Seriously. I mean, what I love when I can hear a story of somebody who's walking through something and goes around and turns around and helps the people behind them. Because it's not just about you, right?
Yeah, because I really felt that it wasn't. I didn't feel it was about me at all. I never felt that ovarian cancer was going to kill me. I never felt that for 1 second. I really felt that it
Mm,
was God leading me
mm,
to where I was supposed to be all along.
yes. Yes. And that, wouldn't you say, like, this is hope unlocked, that gave you such an immense, like, boost of hope?
Oh my goodness. Definitely. And honestly, the way I was handling the treatments, I was paying it forward
Hmm.
right as I was going through treatment myself.
Yes.
Just walking into the infusion center,
Mm,
and talking to these people and just realizing that, me just by being there and showing them that, I have two treatments,
Mhm.
that these people are just coming up behind me, and yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be okay. It was okay for me. It was going to be okay for them.
Yeah. And I just want to highlight that, like, no matter what you're walking through, like, we can come into situations with a posture like that, wouldn't you
Mm.
say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will tell you, there were a lot of people, men and women in the infusion center, that didn't feel that way though. Just,
Yeah.
a lot were
Sure.
angry, a lot
Sure.
were bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Many were very angry with
Hmm.
God,
Yeah.
just wondering, I mean, all the things.
All things.
But
Yeah.
not that I didn't hear them, but I
Hmm.
didn't let any of that resonate with me, because that is not how I felt at all.
Hmm.
And that's the reason why we call the support group that I host the Celebration Circle.
Yes.
Because when I was looking for a support group, I was looking for, that sort of that tribe that would just, y- bring concepts and positivity. Not that I
Hmm.
had my head in the sand. I understood the gravity of a cancer diagnosis. I understood that. But I
Yes.
didn't want to be with a bunch of commiserators. I just couldn't take
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'm going to have to create one myself. So
Yeah.
we did, and we called it the Celebration Circle.
Wow. And how long has this been going?
Well, we used to, before COVID, people would come to the house. So it was very
Okay.
geographically limited. So it was in my home, and
Mhm.
people who lived nearby would come.
Okay.
After COVID, so that would have been what? Nine, 19, started 19, I guess, 20.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we started the support group
Mhm.
probably around shortly after I finished my treatment. So probably 17.
Oh, wow.
But then when
Awesome.
COVID hit,
Hmm.
um, I just thought, wow, we have all these people we've become friends. Like, what are we supposed to do? So
Right.
we flipped it out to the internet via Zoom, and more people came, and people who weren't able to join us because of,
Hmm.
logistic reasons. They were just maybe an hour away. It started
Hmm.
that way.
Yeah.
And now they were able to join.
Oh my gosh.
And then
So are you
as
having
time
people like from all over the place now? Like all over
Yeah,
the
yeah.
world?
We've had people join from as far away as Portland, and we're sitting here in Pittsburgh. So we've
Wow.
had people from Portland, Oregon. We have a woman who is from Wake Forest,
Wow.
North Carolina, that's on almost every single time. And
Oh.
yeah, so it's been this organic growth, and
Hmm.
it's only been because, we're out there on, the internet now, and people can just register.
Hmm.
And what's beautiful about the whole thing is that if somebody is being treated at
Yeah.
Sloan Kettering, and they're able to share with with us the protocol,
Mhm.
then if we don't know that protocol here in Pittsburgh or
Mhm.
at Duke, well, we can go and we can talk to our doctors about that. So it's
Yeah.
been such a beautiful kind of an awakening
Hmm.
of um, other treatment options or protocols that
Okay.
maybe different parts of the country aren't quite aware of yet, that we're
Wow.
able to just, bring to others.
Okay. So this has been almost like what you would say about 8 years that you've been running this group. And is that about right?
Yeah, because I finished yeah, I'm coming up on 10 years for my diagnosis in January. It'll be 10 years.
Okay. So, within this group, um, I know, like, I can imagine that there's like a whole gamut of, is it generationally, like 20s, like through what ages are you finding in this group?
Yeah. So what we're finding mostly is that people in their late 30s, early 40s to 80s
Wow.
actually
Oh my God.
are part of the group, and
Wow.
all different types of diagnosis, everything from blood cancers, lots of breast, ovarian,
Mhm.
liver. I mean, so it's all different types of cancers,
Wow.
and all different ages. Typically, the younger ones, if there's a younger person or a child, it's the parents. or a
Mm.
grandparent
Oh,
that participate in the calls. It's open to supporters and caregivers as well.
oh my gosh. Well, I want to just make sure we capture, like, if somebody's listening to this today, because, we're reaching all over the world, when do you have a set time of day or a specific day that you do these calls?
Yeah, so and people can register to attend right on our website. But yeah, we the first and third Thursdays
Mm-hmm.
of the month,
Okay.
and we meet at 6:30 via Zoom for an hour.
Okay. And
And it's
that's Eastern
Eastern
Standard.
Standard Time. Yes.
Okay. And then what is the website? I'll be sure to link it in the comments as well.
Yeah, it's faithandgratitude.org.
Okay. You can find it there to register.
Absolutely.
Okay. Amazing. Like how many have come into this group and been like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a blessing. I've been looking for something like this and I couldn't find it."
Oh, Kristen, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, how many people, it's just amazing, honestly. It's just so heartwarming for me too that, people find us, whether they find us organically in a search or they find it just because their treatment center recommended them try us. But some of them, I call them resistors because I'll have a conversation with them and they'll say, I don't know if I really need a support group. I don't know if that really is something I want to do. So I call
Mhm.
them the resistors. And then as soon as they join a call, they're
Yeah.
texting me or calling and saying, "Oh my goodness, it's
Um,
such an uplifting group." And we always try to have oftentimes we'll just be talking. I'll have a topic that resonates with me. I always pray about that before. What
mhm.
should I bring to the group? And sort of the same thing as you. You want to bring things that are meaningful, that are
Yeah.
actionable. That's one thing that's really important too, that people can take action. So we'll bring topics that will just be me bringing the topic. We oftentimes will bring speakers on from across the country that will talk about a specific
Mhm.
topic. We had on, how to sprout. Broccoli sprouts a couple of months ago. So we have all different kinds of things that resonate with a lot of people. And I feel that by keeping it fresh,
Mhm.
um, and actionable, it
Mhm.
just keeps people, coming back and wanting to learn more. And
Yeah.
because we're not a bunch of commiserators and it's non-clinical,
Mm.
I think people have a real sense that, it is a circle of love and
Mhm.
hope and compassion. And
Yes.
yeah.
That's so incredible. I would love for you to share, just an example. I know you mentioned there's resistors, but I'm big on testimonials. So could you share, like, without sharing who it is, but maybe somebody who came into your group and just the experience that because it's women, correct, that you have come into this group? Is that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
women?
And if it's a spouse or a significant other that's a male,
Hmm.
we've never had a male patient come on. It's always been their significant other. So it's literally all female that come on the
Okay.
call.
Okay.
But we had a woman, she's since passed, but I
Mm.
met her at a conference in Orlando, at an integrative cancer conference, back in 2018. And she was from Atlanta. And we hit it off right away.
Yeah.
And she was someone who would come on the call and we would all get on the call to
Hmm.
see what she was going to say.
Oh.
And she was a spreader of faith and gratitude, not the organization so much, but she just would just be such a personality talking about, faith for her and, gratitude. So when we met,
Mm-hmm.
it was just so apparent that she was going to be that person for us in Georgia.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was. I mean, she was to the very, very end. She just was just the most beautiful person and just felt so connected to a group of people
Yeah.
that she would never have met if it wasn't for a diagnosis of cancer.
Oh my gosh. And even as you're talking, and she was from Georgia.
Yes.
It's like, wow, I'm almost seeing like these light posts in different states that people would run faith and gratitude. I don't, are you? Is that a thought you've ever had before?
Well, you know what? My husband is the one who always says that you need, because there's so many people and so many people would love to gather together in person too, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, so I have thought about it. It's been sort of a fleeting thought, and it's only truly been because of
Mhm.
Zoom that
Yeah.
we're able to be together, all
Mhm.
of us, because of technology.
Yeah.
But
I,
another thing too, oh, go
yeah,
ahead. I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
I was just gonna say, people are just so like I'm recognizing, that people are just so hungry for in-person connection. There's something so special about it. Yeah, I just had to share that with you because I was like seeing these little light posts around the states that would carry this message and bring people together. So
Well, you never know. I mean, it could definitely be something
yeah.
that we could work into our programming. But right now we have what really started I don't think I mentioned this to you before we started recording,
Mhm.
but what started the whole organization too is sharing with all these different patients, but also creating a cancer resource guide.
Oh wow.
And it's a three-ring binder that was curated perfectly
Mhm.
with everything I wish I had had
Oh.
when I was diagnosed. So we curated it. It's about a 2-inch thick binder,
Oh
and we
wow.
ship it all over the country. And
That's
literally, it's everything to keep patients organized
mhm.
with a lot of educational tips. I mean,
Okay.
Kristen, I didn't even know what to wear to chemotherapy treatments. I mean, I didn't know. And
Sure.
so it's really something that that's really the cornerstone of the organization is this cancer resource guide.
Oh.
Then we also offer a speaker series,
Mhm.
and you can find that out on the website as well, where we interview integrative cancer specialists,
Okay.
um, people who just are looking at the body holistically.
Hmm.
So we have a whole speaker series. We do 2 a year. We
Hmm.
have wellness events. We do free wig giveaways. That is really in like the geographic footprint of the Pittsburgh area.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just been such a beautiful rebirthing, I think, of me,
Yes.
through being led to create faith and gratitude, honestly.
Mhm. That's so amazing. And you have me curious, like, what are you supposed to wear at
Well,
chemotherapy?
that's the thing. Okay, so you should dress in layers. You
Okay.
should dress, with like buttons because they're going to be accessing ports in many cases.
Mhm.
It's always freezing cold in the
Oh,
infusion centers. But I didn't know. I had no idea
yeah.
what to wear. And they're
Wow.
always, if you need to eat at all, which,
Mhm.
you don't have to constantly be eating,
Yeah.
but you should take your own healthy food
Okay.
because 99.9% of the time the cart will come around and it will have everything, all the feel good foods, right? All the,
Sugar, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Which is kind of the counter to what you want to actually be eating, wouldn't you say?
well, I would absolutely say that with an exclamation point at the end.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Let's scream it
ridiculous.
from the rooftops.
Oh my gosh, it's the most
Let's
ridiculous.
go there. Let's go
Yeah.
there. Let's go there. Lori,
It's
tell us.
awful. I remember this is the honest to goodness truth. So anyway, I remember right after my surgery, here comes the oncology nutritionist. Her name
Mm,
is Karen, and
okay.
she walked in with her little clipboard, and she was going down, and I said, Karen, I would never eat what you're recommending I eat. And she said, well, you have to keep your energy up. It's going to be a really taxing protocol. And I said, don't worry about me.
Mhm.
I mean, and that is when I'm juicing all the time. I am eating so clean.
Yeah.
So, okay, so she leaves. And then once here she comes again on the first day of my first infusion. And I looked at my husband and I'm like, oh, here comes crazy Karen. She's going to be talking again about all this crap. And as soon as she comes up and she saw who it was, she
You're like, there's
said,
that lady again.
I know you're not gonna. And I said, no. I said, I'm not gonna. I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm not drinking the boost. I'm not drinking the Ensure. I'm
Oh,
not. I'm
so
not doing
terrible.
all the stuff.
Yeah. So terrible.
So terrible. It's so terrible. And even when you're leaving and you're making your next infusion appointment, there's a big bowl of crap, you know?
Oh, I can only imagine. I can only
Yeah.
imagine. Yes.
Awful, awful.
Yeah. Probably the last thing you want to be eating after you do that.
Well, there's so much written, even going out on PubMed, with reference to sugar and cancer and
Mhm.
even things that break down into simple sugars like your breads and your pastas and stuff that people don't really think about.
Yeah.
But, you got to give your immune system a chance to do what it is innately able
Yeah.
to do. And
Yeah.
by bombarding it with sugars,
Hmm.
it's not the thing that we should be doing, especially as a cancer patient.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm.
Anyways, there's
Well, we
there's a
know that
lot that can
that's a
be said.
huge key. That's a huge key to avoid, right? What would
Well,
you
really,
say would be another counter to the mainstream um, key that you could give away to somebody who maybe like they've been newly diagnosed or they know somebody who's been newly diagnosed, other than, getting involved in your group or what have you? Like, what would be something that you just say, like almost like your husband did, like take a moment, like let's pause here. I just want to bring, like, literally, I'm like wondering what your revelation would be for them and wisdom that maybe they would never know.
well, because I really feel there's an emotional, like, which is like the whole stress component, that is before diagnosis, years before diagnosis. I
Hmm.
believe that, you have to, I believe people should really look at relationships,
Hmm.
family, like familial also, and friends. And if you feel there are toxic
Hmm.
people in
Hmm.
your life, you've got to be strong enough to, just stand up and either, let them go by the wayside because it's for your health,
Hmm.
or really just have a center of forgiveness for them, because I feel that,
Hmm.
us carrying around a lot of stress sometimes is stemmed, um, from a situation that maybe happened 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years ago that we're
Yeah.
still carrying around,
Hmm.
that person may have said something or did something, or you interpreted something that
Hmm.
maybe wasn't meant to be for you at all, but you've been thinking about it or carrying it around for all these years. Well,
Hmm.
it's been, I mean, there's been a lot of research that has shown that if you just forgive,
Yeah.
because they've already forgotten what they've said or done or did or whatever. So we just have to, just forgive and let that go. And if it really is letting
Hmm.
people go, like in the literal sense, like just
Yeah.
letting them go, you got to do it, because, you can only hold on to so much
Hmm.
before it'll resonate somehow, some way in your body.
Yeah, I so agree. And I would even add just sometimes people need to forgive themselves,
100%,
right? Like
100%.
we know that autoimmune can often be stemmed from trauma, but also self-hatred. There's so many different facets that I mean, personally, it's not like a mainstream doctor would have you looking into these areas, at
Kristen,
least
it is,
not in the people I've talked to in my world. In
well,
your world, did you ever encounter that?
it's so true. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. We talk a lot in the support group too, just about self-love, even, just being able to look at yourself and without feeling that it's, something that's not to be said. But if
Right.
you don't love yourself,
Hmm.
how do we expect anyone else to be able to love us? So you have to have, like, yeah, self-forgiveness. You
Hmm.
have to be able to love yourself,
Hmm.
um, and not feel as though your body has abandoned, every rule that it's supposed to, adhere to keep you healthy. Like, you
Yeah.
just have to, make better choices than we made yesterday, today.
Yeah.
Some people will say, well, what's the diet you recommend? Well, you don't want to use the word diet because,
Yes.
right?
The first three letters. I mean,
Yeah.
no thanks.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So you just have to, you know, eat with intention, eat with the intention to, to help your immune system and your body heal.
Yeah.
Do all the things that make you feel good, not bring
Yeah.
you down, and just surround yourself with people
Hmm.
who love to be with you
Hmm.
and who you love to be with. And, the other people, you just have to not have time for that anymore and learn to say no. Just
Mm,
to,
huge.
when people try to drag you into something, just no, we're not doing
Huge.
that.
Huge, huge, huge. I like to call it know your no because no is within KNOW.
That is
Isn't that
good.
fun?
Yeah,
It's
it
just
really
like a whole
is.
guiding point right there.
It is. It
Right?
is. No, you're no.
And it's hard, for some who maybe, never learned boundaries, and that's a whole other topic, right?
It's a whole other
A
topic, but
whole
we can
other
go on for an
topic.
hour with that one
I
because
know, we totally could.
yeah. And the other thing, just to circle back, using that same idea too,
Mhm.
people are so afraid to question their oncologist.
Yes. Yes.
They just are so afraid. And
Mhm.
you just have to get to the point where you can't be. You can't
Mhm.
be afraid and
Mhm.
you can't be worried that they're going to be offended. Many of them are. Many
Yeah.
of them push back and make patients feel small.
Mhm.
But I always say there's a million of them. So if
Mhm.
you're not on the same page as your oncologist and vice versa, then
Mhm.
maybe it's time to interview some others.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, just in any doctors for just as a whole, all encompassing, I would say as well, but would you say if somebody's not open to even having you be curious and ask questions, really check, kind of check that gauge there and make sure that, what is the reason that they're not okay with you asking questions?
I completely agree. I completely agree. And I have no problems, firing doctors and
Hmm.
going on a search for another.
Hmm.
You have to trust your team.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that trust in your team,
Hmm.
then you have to get a new team.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. You just set somebody free today. I mean, I used to be one many years ago until I got like thrown around the medical system for different things. I just I just assumed that they knew everything because they went to school and I knew nothing.
Uh, well, you know what, Kristen, but that's how we have been. It's really how we have been trained to
Yeah.
think when you think about it, right?
Hmm. Totally.
But how I look at them now, and this sounds so ignorant, but how I look at them now, they didn't all graduate top 1% of their class. Some of them narrowly passed the boards.
Right.
So I feel like when the ones who might be pushing a little bit back, when I
Hmm.
hand them a PubMed study or,
Hmm.
when it's one thing that when you're talking to the doctor, but when you bring actual
Yes.
studies for them. But
Hmm.
when they're not interested, I just feel like then you're not interested in me. If you're not interested in what I'm giving you because I've read it, I understand, and you're not interested, well, then maybe
Yeah.
we need to kind of
Let go.
separate. Yes, let
Let it
go.
go.
And then just
I'm
say a prayer for them. That's all we can do.
Yes. Well, I mean, aren't you so thankful and grateful and just all the things that you've awakened to this and now you can help wake up other people as well. Because again, it's not, I think a lot of people are just honestly doing their best. You don't know what you don't know. And I think part of what I would imagine a big part of your calling is to really help lovingly just bring awareness to other people and help and bring
Oh,
resources and right?
I believe that. I really, really do. Um, because it really does become just such a strong bond
Mm-hmm.
between just not me, but all of us. We just, you
Mm-hmm.
come together and you're sharing, and, we're just a bunch of sharers of information.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, that is empowering for people. And I think through education, learning different things or different treatment plans or protocols, I mean, that just can be that
Mm-hmm.
whole educational
Yeah.
component. can
Mm-hmm.
add to such an empowering position for the patient and their families.
Mm-hmm. So good. Well, thank you for being a trailblazer and bringing
Oh,
others
thank you for
on.
having me
It's
today so I can talk about
it's been
my
amazing. I have
story.
one more question for you. So, what would you say has been, I don't know, maybe your most favorite um, supernatural methodology to help, like what you walked through and maybe what you share with others? And then, what's your favorite recipe that's
Oh,
wonderful and natural?
let me think. So, that first part of the question, that's a tough one. Let me
I
think.
know. I like asking tough questions.
I know, I know. Let me think here. Something. Well, I'm not sure if this is what we're getting at, but for me, I feel that listening to to your, that inter spirit,
Mm-hmm.
that we all have within us, right? That God voice,
Mm-hmm.
being able to quiet yourself enough to hear, like if you're asking a question, to quiet yourself enough to hear. Some people call it intuition. We're not really trained to
Mm-hmm.
hone that, but I really do believe it's God's voice that's just, kind of prodding us in different ways,
Yeah.
to do certain things. And many of us just kind of put that to the side. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if this answers the question or not, but I feel that
Yeah.
kind of tuning into that voice and
Right.
allowing that to come through somehow, some way into
Mm-hmm.
how we're growing, while we're on this earth,
Yeah, absolutely.
is something that should be very meaningful to a lot of people.
Hmm. Yes. And I would say, yeah, exactly. Like listening to him first and foremost. Like, what's my next step, Lord? What do you want me to know about this? Where do you want me to go? Who do you want me to connect with? He's so good to do that. We just have to slow down enough to listen, right? Our,
Well, we
our
do.
world is so fast paced and there's so many voices and so many opinions, and ultimately he's number one, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. And the sad part is that, well, it's sad because a lot of people don't know.
Hmm.
But the good part is that we're able to kind of be that voice to
Hmm.
those who just maybe aren't aware, just
Yeah.
to kind of, give yourself that quiet time, and
Mhm.
however that looks to you,
Yeah.
and just to see what the next steps are really supposed to
Mhm.
be, and then just follow them.
Amen. Yes, I love it. Well, do you have a recipe that's coming to mind that
Okay.
you loved
Well,
maybe while you were going through treatment that you found to just be so nourishing and happy? I guess
yeah.
the word happy
So
comes with it.
So I will tell you that we have recipes out on the website too when we're adding, a recipe here and there all the time. But
Yeah.
one that I loved, I mean, lots and lots of juices I have on the recipe because I feel that, an alkaline body
Hmm.
really is a body that's able to just fight, diseases in such a beautiful way. But we have a smoothie recipe. We have, well, a few smoothie recipes, and smoothies to me kind of, conjure up ideas of milkshakes. So I
Yeah.
always freeze my fruit. The fruit is always frozen. So right away, we know we're going to get a consistency of a milkshake. I don't add,
Hmm.
any milk, any almond milks or coconut milks or anything. I use just clean water with my smoothies. Always adding cinnamon, a touch of turmeric, and a little bit of black pepper. And pretty much that's my smoothie, and just put it in the ninja, and know you're nourishing your immune system.
Wow, I've never thought to add like pepper to it before.
Well, the reason why we add black pepper is because turmeric, to activate the turmeric, so it's more so it's
Activate.
easier digestible, your body takes it in better, is adding the black pepper.
Mm. Does it give it a little kick?
No, you can't really even taste it.
Really? Huh.
You really
I'll have to give
can't.
that a try. Thank you. I have a smoothie every day.
There you go.
This was for me. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. It's
You're
for other people too.
welcome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm probably gonna have to have you on another time. Maybe we could go into some other subjects because I'm sure we could talk about many, many things here.
We could.
But while we wrap up, I was just curious if you had, as I mentioned before we even got started, I do this for the one. So if you could just think of someone who's listening in today, is there any other words of encouragement or wisdom that you feel led to share with them? And then would you mind praying us out as we wrap up?
Absolutely. Just always know, one, that you have time and there
Mhm.
is always hope.
Yes.
And through faith and gratitude, you'll find that hope.
So good. And just feel it.
I, I know, right?
Hmm.
So, did you want me to say a small prayer before we go?
Yes. Would you mind?
Oh, no, I don't mind at all.
Thank you.
So, Father God, thank you so much for allowing me this platform today. I
Mhm.
am honored to be with Kristen and all of those who are listening. And I hope that my words were concise and that the people who are listening will find hope, faith,
Mhm.
and gratitude each and every day.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. You are amazing. And thank you so much for being a brave voice who's setting so many free. I'm going to close with the anchoring verse, which is, May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. And that's Romans 15:13. So I will be sure to link up Lori's contact information in the show notes. Be sure to reach out to her. And I will be back with another episode next week. Thanks so much, Lori. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you.